Hello everyone, we're gonna do this today. I did a tutorial a little while back. I wasn't too happy with it, so I decided not to utilize it and highlight it. So now I've gotten back around to it, so let's get you guys taken care of now, shall we? We have everything set up. I am using the randomizer tracker that is located in the DWR Discord to kind of help out with the tutorial. Thank you very much to Captain Uhu for this. Magru is the maker of this randomizer, and I'm currently playing on the 2.2 alpha, seeing as how that is the most commonly used one right now. Imagine that we'll see a official release. I think they're talking by the time the summer tournament rolls around, so by end of August, early September, that's typically when that tournament happens, so hopefully we get to see that here pretty quickly. This randomizer is pretty much everything randomized. All the chests are going to contain random items. There will be hopefully no vanilla pickups, but everything will be randomized, and so we're going to try to defeat the game. Now this tutorial assumes that you know the basics of Dragon Warrior, that you need to collect the Stones of Sunlight, the Silver Heart to trade for the Staff of Rain, and Erdrick's Token in order to trade them in for the Rainbow Drop in order to defeat the Dragon Lord. Now, that also comes with some other things as well. We have Erdrick's Armor, which is pretty much a requirement to defeat the game. It reduces a lot of damages and things like that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. And Erdrick's Sword is the strongest weapon in the game. The other thing to keep in mind for this randomizer is the Death Necklace, because sometimes it can make things different. So, you know, it's just what it is. It increases your attack power by 10 at the cost of 25% of your max HP. So if you have about 130 HP, it puts you at about 97 HP, if I remember correctly, something like that. So it'll reduce that maximum HP down to 97, but it gives you an extra 10 attack points, which can mean the difference between defeating the final boss and losing to the final boss. So something to keep in mind there. As always, we have all of our spells on the randomizer here. And the randomizer will randomize what order you learn the spells in. So there might be a spell or a seed where you're going to start with the Hurtmore flag here, if this will ever update. Why is that not updating? That's problematic. Properties. Looks like it's right. Let's see if I this. No, it does not. Why is it not doing that? Okay, let's do this real quick. So we'll just window capture it here. It'll be nice and simple enough here. Window capture, and we'll do this one. Alright, and let's sorry that I'm having to do this. I should have checked it. It's unfortunate, but we'll make it all work. Let's go here. So it's easier to work with. There we go. Alright, So let's see, we're almost there. I don't know how easy that is to see for you guys there, but we'll make it work here. Looks like we're there. Okay, so for this, we have the level requirements for no change in experience, fast leveling for 75% experience requirements, and then the very fast leveling. And as you can see, that goes all the way up to level 30. So that's helpful for new players that are learning the benchmarks for the next levels. So we'll probably keep that active while we're roaming around the world map and whatnot. Right here, this is the old man who tells us where the search spot on the overworld is. There are 3 search spots, and there's one in the destroyed town of Hawksness, which is guarded by a spike tile enemy. And in the vanilla game, that contains Erdrick's armor, but it can contain up to 7 items, which we'll go over those here in a minute. We also have a search spot in the town of Cole, which is 4 steps south of the Bath and Cole. And then we also have the search spot on the overworld, which is a certain number of coordinates, whichever the coordinates are that he gives you. So in this case, let's say that we had 50 north and we had 50 west. So that's the number of steps north and west of Tantagel Castle that the old man will give you, and that will be exactly where you need to search in order to find the item that is buried. The count is very useful. You can keep track of your own count. You can actually count the steps south, north, east, and west of the castle, which is very, very nice. I like this addition here. But we also have the Gwaelin's Love item here. And what that is Gwaelin's Love will tell you the reverse coordinates of how far you are from the castle. So she will tell you that she is 10 steps south and 10 steps east, and in reality that means that you are 10 steps north and 10 steps west. So it gives the reverse of the coordinates that you have actually traveled away from the castle. So it just gives her position relative to the hero's position. So some other things to keep in mind here are the magic key. The magic key is one of the most important items. It allows you to unlock any door in the game. All of the doors are locked unless a specific flag is set to not require magic keys. We will not be doing that today. We will be needing to pick up keys at some point. Keys open up several different things. We'll go over those as they become pertinent. So anyways, one of the big things to remember when you are playing this randomizer is taking advantage of what it is that you name your character. So for anybody who is new to Dragon Warrior, has not played it, your name actually affects your long-term stat growth. And there is a naming calculator that is linked in the Discord, and it's underneath of the welcome or the training room tab pins, and it'll take you to pretty much what I'm reading you here. Just a introduction to the game, and then it'll tell you a link in that Google document right there that will take you to a name calculator, so you can name your character whatever you want to match what kind of build you want. So one of the biggest things that most people struggle with is the determination of what are we talking about here with the names determining stat growth. Well, you have two stats that are going to grow somewhat faster, and you have two stats that are going to grow somewhat more normalized. And so we call these builds because that's basically what they are. And so we have 4 different builds that you can achieve from the game. So you have high strength and HP growth, which is going to be the most common in the randomizer. The reason behind that is because strength and HP are the really big determining factors on whether or not you're going to be able to defeat the Dragon Lord. So we'll go into that a little bit later when we're looking at actually taking on the Dragon Lord today. But strength HP is pretty much the typical staple for most runners, closely followed by strength agility. I've seen quite a few people that have delved into it, kind of looked into it and said, hey, what are we doing here? Let's see if we can get a little bit more agility. So agility is tied to defense, so that's why it's appealing there. And so it's for every 2 points of agility, you get 1 point of defense. So your natural defense is determined by your agility, as well as your run chance to run away from enemies. So the possibility of running away from enemies with a strength agility growth is going to be a little bit higher than a strength HP growth. And that's pivotal for Sharlock Castle, which we'll get into here after a bit. Then we have our friend HP MP growth. So the HP and MP growth, we only really use those if you're just struggling super hard with the beginning of the game. Typically, you have the spell Hurt More available in the seed. But you have absolutely no MP to utilize it. It can also be helpful at the end of the game with granting you an extra heal more or 2 to face the final boss with, because the final boss basically boils down to a fight of attrition. Basically, you kill him before he kills you. That's basically what it boils down to, so having those extra heals can help a lot. Agility MP is almost never really used to my knowledge, and it's really weird that's even an option, because having tons of MP is great, except for when you don't have any attack power or any HP to back it up. So it's going to be unfortunate there. You know, you always want to select the fastest message speed as well with this as we're going through this. The Google document lists single character names, so that way that you are not losing frames. We definitely don't want to be losing frames. And I don't know why it didn't update that. Let me see if I can get this to update. There we go. Should be good now. Hopefully that title swapped around. But anyways, so we want to use single character names so that way that we can get through the game as fast as possible. The community does a lot of racing and things of that nature. We have a weekly race, we have tournaments, all kinds of things that we've been doing. But I think I've been chatting long enough, so let's jump right into this. Let's start with our name. So I'm going to be utilizing a strength HP growth. So some of the letters are small d, a small t, a large J, and a large Z. So my name is Jesse, so I'm going to stick with the J because that just seems appropriate. We want to select the fast message speed as I talked about here. And so here is the king. The king of Tantagel is going to give us the basic rundown of what is going on. Basically, we are a descendant of the hero Erdrick, who once banished evil from the land, and it is our duty to go and get the ball of light from the Dragon Lord who stole it. So the first thing to take into consideration here is that we have starting stats. We have a lot of HP to work with. We have a lot of MP to work with, so those look really good. we have really good agility. 24 agility is absolutely amazing. So we have 12 defense power. So we're not going to be taking a ton of damage, which is nice, especially from early game enemies. The 4 strength, though, that is going to be a problem. So we have found the silver harp, though, in Tantagel. So Tantagel, you will always start with 3 chests in the throne room, which is always a nice thing. And so we'll just continue along here. Gold is probably one of the worst things to find unless you have a town that's literally right outside the castle, which sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. We have the obligatory magic key. So that magic key will always be in one of these 3 chests. One of these 3 chests has to have a magic key, so that way that you can get out of the castle. So everything is menu based, so anytime you want to interact with anything, you have to go into the menu. That's pretty standard, pretty basic. If you play the vanilla game, you already know that. So for the opening part of the game here, we could wander and try to get our gold to a town that's nearby, hopefully, but I don't want to risk that. We're just going to go ahead and we're going to walk around in this desert tile here and make use of this hurt spell with our massive 21 MP. The hurt spell is going to do, I believe it is 6 to 15 damage on any given enemy. Enemies have different resistances to the hurt spell, so it could hit very, very, very soft. It could not hit at all. So we have hit our next level cap, though. We hit a level cap for level 2 and 3, I believe. Yep, level 2 and 3. So we'll be seeing some good stat increases. 24 strength. Huge, 4 speed, 14 HP, and 1 MP. So our stats are looking pretty good, pretty respectable for level 3 there. We could probably break out and start exploring now, but why not try to utilize some more grinding here? It's always kind of a toss-up whether you want to grind or whether you want to go exploring. Right now we don't have a heal spell, so we have no way of getting our HP back anyways. And I already kind of committed to getting a level here. This will be for level 4, which is at 36 experience. 2 power, 7 speed, and 12 hit points. So magic is a little bit of a problem already. I kind of expected that with that huge MP growth, though. So, unfortunately, within Tantagel Castle, we did not get wings. So if we got wings from one of the 3 chests, we'd be able to keep that magic key. And we would be able to utilize it to break into the treasury. Unfortunately, we were not able to do so, so tough luck. It happens sometimes. So we're just gonna go ahead and grind to level 5. We'll probably end up dying after that. And we're gonna utilize a death warp to go to the king, get a free refill here. So that will be nice for us. Come on, kill him. Thank you. All right, so this will be level 5, and I think that that's probably going to be a good spot to start exploring because we've gotten good agility pretty much every level. So we have 37 agility. We'll be able to run from quite a few things, so that's always nice. One thing that's important to keep in mind is that tiles directly north and south of Tantagel can only contain monsters that are up to a wolf. So straight north of the castle, straight west of the castle, and straight east of the castle can only contain certain hard enemies, up to a scorpion actually, which is right there. But diagonally, it can contain enemies from much harder zones. So just something to keep in mind there. Let's hurt you. Let's see if we can kill you. Or you kill us. Yay, it let us kill him. So we're just gonna kind of wander here. We'll try to make it to a town if we can. Looks like we might be able to. It's gonna depend upon how the game lets us. And a magician. Running away from that. And here we go for the town of Remoldar. This is huge. So the town of Remoldar is the town that sells magic keys. Let me get that pulled up here for you. So we have the town of Remoldar. It sells keys, and that's in the top left shop. As you can see, I'm kind of making my way up and around the outside edge of the town here. So that's where I'm headed. I'm going to pick up as many keys as I can find, so that way that we have access to all of those juicy chests in Tantagel. Okay, so you can only carry up to 6 items in your inventory of any given item. So we'll just walk out of town, walk back in. We'll check out the weapon and armor shop here. Always good to kind of take a look around, seeing as how shops are randomized. And it's a good thing that we did, because we can pick up some chainmail here, which will increase our defense a little bit further. It'll increase it by 10 here. So go over here, we'll go do our chainmail. There we go. So we get chainmail. Remoldar has 1 chest in it, which is inside of the inn located at the bottom right of the screen. So we'll go ahead and we'll check this. We found an herb. Okay. So now we want to leave town and probably death warp back to Tantagel here. Or at least attempt to let something death warp us. We might actually make it back to Tantagel at this point. I don't think I can kill him. Oh, I can. Oh, look at that. Alright. Scorpion ran away. So these black tiles are swamp tiles. They'll take away 2 HP for every step that you take away within them. So something to keep in mind there. So we get sent back to the king. We're gonna lose half of our gold, which is fine because I didn't have a ton to begin with. And then he'll scold us about how we should not have died. And we'll go open the door to take a look at the treasury. Magic key back from the treasury. That's awesome. We have the stones of sunlight now too. And this is Tantagel. So Tantagel has our treasury right here. And then also over here in this bottom right corner, you can just barely see that right there. That little staircase right there will be a random cave. So we're gonna check that out while we're there too. The fighter's ring, a good ring to find here. So we'll go ahead and we'll utilize that. That's going to increase our overall attack power by 2. We also have that. And our last thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this. Erdrick's armor. So in the alpha version of the game, Erdrick's armor can be found in a chest now. We have those buriable spots, which used to contain just the fairy flute, Erdrick's armor, and the token. But now there's a couple of different items that could. Oh, no problem, Nim. Good to see you, man. So anyways, we're gonna come around to Tantagel here. Go through this door. And we can walk right along the outside of the castle here, ever so carefully. Alright, so one thing that I did not do is I did not pick up a torch. So, this is a dark cave, so we'll come back to this. There are ways to navigate the dark caves, but I think for the tutorial it would be good to come back here with a torch. Unfortunately, Remoldar does not have an item shop, so we're going to have to look somewhere else. So we're just going to go ahead and nope out of there, and we're going to continue exploring a little bit. Find ourselves a town here. Go ahead and chant the hurt spell here. So hurt is a really good early game spell, and we want to see lots of it. So right here we have the item or the weapon shop for Breckenary. Breckenary is pretty much kind of like the red-headed stepchild of towns here. You don't really want to see it very often, very much anyways. You want it to kind of be one of those things that kind of just stays back in the corner. But seeing as how we have it, we'll utilize it here. This right here is our item shop, so we're going to want to pick up some items here. We're going to pick up a dragon scale. That'll increase our defense by 2. We're going to pick up a torch. Actually, we'll pick up a couple torches. Torches are an easy way out of 4 strength seeds where you don't have the hurt spell. The hurt spell really kind of mitigated the need for them, but you can use them as an item in combat for the alpha to do, I believe it's between 4 and 8 damage, if I remember correctly. Also, one thing to point out is that this little shop right here is open as well. It will sell fairy waters. I believe they are 20 gold a piece. No, it's 38 gold. So fairy water will basically repel enemies that are weaker than you, enemies that your defense exceeds their attack power. It will automatically block that out, and then we can just wander the world map without having to worry about enemies, which is why I picked up that chainmail. That chainmail is pretty important. We have another cave right here. This here is the Jerk Cave, as it's known in the community. So the 3 key items that we kind of alluded to and talked about a little bit earlier on, the Staff of Rain and the Stones of Sunlight and Erdrick's Token, you have to bring that to him, and he will then reward you with the Rainbow Drop. So the Rainbow Drop is required to bridge the gap between Charlock Castle and the mainland. So we definitely need it to complete the game. So we'll keep that in mind. Make sure that we know that it's just southeast of Breckenary here. And it's good to continue fighting as we go along here. This Star Wyvern here is going to be a problem. We don't quite have the agility to guarantee running away from him. Pretty resistant to the hurt spell. Not super resistant, but pretty resistant to it. And he's got a ton of HP anyways, so we wouldn't want to do that. Right now I'm prioritizing exploration over grinding. Because we want to go out and find what's in the world, because that's a pretty important thing to know. So just east of Tantagel there is a big zone there. So monster domains are kind of broken up into small categories. Basically the way that it works is it will have 15 by 15 tile areas where up to 5 enemies can appear. So it'll have a group of 5 enemies, 5 slots if you will, that are taken up by individual enemies, and then it goes from there. Each enemy domain is randomized except for the domains that are right around that Tantagel area that I kind of talked about, with it being up to a scorpion and then up to a wolf respectively. So unfortunately taken out by that rogue scorpion, but we have a couple of directions to go now. I guess now is a good time to kind of talk about Erdrick's armor. Erdrick's armor is absolutely ridiculous. So it's it is broken. It is a broken piece of equipment. There is no other way to put it. It gives you plus 28 defense, which is the highest defense that armor will give. It also restores 1 HP per step that you take with it. It grants immunity to these swamp tiles as well as barrier tiles inside of dungeons and castles. So that'll be nice. And then we also have immunity to stop spell. And the biggest one is that it reduces fire damage by 1/3, which makes the Dragon Lord's Breath, instead of it dealing 70 damage plus, it deals 42 to 48 damage. So it's a pretty big decrease for that. So anyways, you can see this big C here. The big C means that you have found Sharlock Castle. This is the domain of the end boss, and we need the rainbow drop in order to bridge the gap there. So that's what the rainbow drop is for. So we'll be utilizing that later. In the meantime, we're going to continue wandering. Right there was Rimuldar. So we're going to want to continue moving forward here. See if we can find either another cave or another town way forward somehow. In the meantime, we pick up another level at 165 experience. So 1 power, 2 speed, no hit points, and 8 MP. Okay, so we got some MP. We also learned the spell Radiant. So Radiant is a very, very nice find. Radiant will light up those dark caves for us without the utilization of needing thingamaboobs. Torches. So that'll be helpful. Unfortunately, this wizard is not going to let me go here. No, we won't use Nerb. I did see that town up there, so we're going to want to double back and check that. Looks like this map extends quite a bit to the west, so continue wandering this way. We'll see if we can find a connection point. And lots of enemies have fire today. So there's a lot of math that goes into a lot of things. Probably the biggest thing is that probably calculating your stats versus the Dragon Lord is probably the biggest one. And then after that, it's knowing agility thresholds that gives you the chance to evade enemies efficiently. And so we have a couple of different agility brackets that kind of make things a little bit easier. This guy is the top of the agility tier. Of course, I ran away on the first try when I should have failed. This cave right here is the trade-in for the Staff of Rain. And so that will go from the harp. We need to bring this guy the harp in order to obtain this chest, which is guaranteed to have our Staff of Rain. So we now have 2 of the 3 key items that we need. Oh, I guess we can mark that too. All right, and we'll head upwards here. A blue dragon, one of the harder enemies. So this is definitely a harder enemy domain. And so we wanted to try to minimize our time in it here. Goldman, completely useless. Never really want to see him, never really want to fight him. Unfortunately, he has Dragon Lord breath, so he just utterly destroys us. rolling 2 maximum Dragon Lord breaths, which any enemy can have. That's just really danged unfortunate. It's just the way it is. So we'll continue on here. One of the good things about that is that we get to go right over here. I don't have enough gold to pick up more keys, so we'll just head this way. Alright, Radiant Spell. Now you guys can see what I got going on. So this cave right here is going to be the Swamp Cave. This is the cave that protects Gwaelin. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. So this cave right here protects Gwaelin. This little spot right here is a trap tile that will always contain one of, I believe it's 9 enemies. So it will have either, let's see, it's Axe Knight, Armored Knight, Blue Dragon, Stone Man, Golem, Red Dragon is the only things that a spike tile can have. But that's important to keep in mind because it will mean that we are able to level grind off of it later. So we'll want to bear that in mind. But for now, we're just going to head through the Swamp Cave. The Swamp Cave allows us to travel from one end of the continent to the second continent. So sometimes there's only one continent, sometimes it's split up into 2. It looks like that is the case because I did see a landmass to the northwest there that was blocked by mountains, which could mean that it's a single continent game. But we need the swamp continent in order to, or the swamp cave in order to access that stuff over there. So we'll just continue moving right along here. We're gonna skip on Gwaelin for now because I don't think that we'll need Gwaelin's love, and we'll just go back to this since we're on the world map. We want to go check out this town right over here if we can. Okay, so we found coal. So coal is one of those that has the search spot that I kind of talked about. Unfortunately, we don't have a gold grind, so we will not be seeing the silver shield. The silver shield being one of the heavy armors. It's going to allow you to have plus 20 defense. So the only way we'll be getting that is if we have to grind immensely and end up getting the gold for it later. So right here, there is a search spot for coal. Let me actually pull that up here. Let's see. So with coal, we're right here where this is, and we're searching for an item. We have found Erdrick's token, so we now have all 3 items, key items that we need to form the rainbow drop and go to Sharlock Castle. We can go to Sharlock Castle right now if we want. So anyways, there are 7 buriable items that are in Sharlock Castle. Let me pull those up real quick here. Right here. All right, so we have the Erdrick sword is available on search spots. We have the armor is available on search spots, which we don't have to worry about that. The death necklace, the stones of sunlight, the silver harp, the token, and the flute. So currently there are 2 berry spots left, and they can contain the death necklace, Erdrick's sword, or the fairy flute. So we'll still keep an eye out for those. And we'll see what we can do for the time being with those. What the heck? Oh, minimized it. That's what my problem is. Okay. There we go. All right. Now we're good. Let's see. We're full on stuff. We're gonna continue upwards. We'll search around a little bit. Looks like we're back up at the northern end of the map here. Run from this druid. Okay, so we got a cave. That's good. All right, so this is the bonus cave. So this just is an item here. We have a cursed belt here, so we could get a grind for some better weaponry here. Probably get ourselves a hand axe if we wanted to. But that's not really worth it. So the way that chests work in this game is that every time that you exit a location and you go back to the world map, it resets what chests are open. So if I walk over here and walk back into here, you can see there that now I have another chest there. So that can be used to your advantage. You can actually die inside of a cave and go back to Tantagel. And if there is a gold chest in Tantagel, if you've opened up enough chests to where the game marks that 8 has been opened, you can just grab that gold chest infinitely. So that's pretty useful information there. It's referred to as a gold grind, quite aptly. The unfortunate part about it is, in this run, we will not be seeing that gold grind, unfortunately. So it's not really too helpful there. So there is no gold grind available here. In order to get back to the second continent, we need to burn another key. So that's a little unfortunate here. We're starting to run out of keys here. We got only one left, so after this we're kind of SOL. But we're going to try to head south after we get out of the swamp cave here. The nice thing about the swamp cave is that you will never have to worry about if you die in here. Because the door will remain open as long as you're sent back to the king and don't exit to the world map here. So, right there is that, and we can just continue our way through here. Hopefully this blue dragon doesn't annihilate us. Thank you. So we're gonna head east and south. Well, we were going to head east and south. Thanks, game. All right, so now is a good time to talk about agility caps. I kind of alluded to it beforehand, but different enemies have different tiers, and each tier dictates how much of their agility is used to calculate your chance of running away from that particular enemy. So for instance, the enemy that we just ran into, the Armored Knight, he is what is called a tier 4 enemy, or a top tier enemy. He will keep all of his agility when calculating whether or not you can run away from him. And so he has a huge agility stat. I believe it's something like 90. Or somewhere in there. It's right around 90. Anyways, that 90 agility stat is very, very difficult to overcome with our very pitiful 40 agility or whatever it is. Yeah. So we are unable to run away from them. Right now, I think we're at about a 12.5% chance to run away from an Armored Knight right there. So we're going to continue back over to Remoldar, and we'll take the right-hand fork that we passed up last time. We are creeping up on another level. We're still about 100 experience away from it. So we'll start picking up some more fights as we go along here. Hopefully we can continue finding favorable enemies for it. Nothing there. There's Sherlock. Okay, so instead of going left this time, we'll go down. See what we can find in the swamp today. We can find a Magi Wyvern. That's what we can find. Alright, man. This encounter rate. Ow. Let me go. Hey. Okay, so this is kind of the benchmark where you have a choice to make. You can either continue throwing yourself at this like this, or you can grind. So I think we'll grind. I think that's what we're gonna do. So we'll just go ahead and pick up our level here real quick. This won't take too long. Go. Not gonna one-shot him. Not even close. Not even close. Alright. Let's see. It's 337, so we're 31 experience away. Go ahead and kill this troll here. Try to get a little more experience under our belt here. Getting enough for that hand axe would be nice too. So 7 power, 2 speed, 4 HP, 18 MP, no heal spell. So pretty much right now I'm going to continue grinding pretty much until I need to move on to something different. Level 7, I'm pretty much there. I need to kind of grind as I go here. My 2 speed really isn't going to make that big of a difference. That 40 benchmark will make to where those Magi Wyverns aren't back attacking me quite as often. But it's still going to be a struggle. It's still going to be a struggle either way. So that 7 attack power boost is nice. There we go. Alright, Spectre. This is a good enemy. Typically speaking, this guy is pretty decent for the amount of experience he gives. He's got about 38 HP. He gives 45 or 47 experience. So very nice enemy to find there. Giving us a nice leap towards our next level here, which is at 600 experience. Aww, we didn't one-shot him. That's not nice, game. Alright, so let's do a little wandering through the swamp here. Get another Spectre here. I don't think my attack power is high enough for him to run away. So we'll just beat him down as we would at any other enemy. Okay. There we go. Needed a decent roll there, and I wasn't getting it. A little frustrating. Alright, so we got a town in the middle of the swamp. Wizard. So Wizard loses half of his agility. He is a tier 3 enemy. So we only have to compare to 40 agility this time. So we're about a coin flip to run away from wizards. About a coin flip to run away from star wyverns as well. So hopefully we can get away from this guy. Nice. Alright, So right here, if I take one more step to the right, I will engage in a battle with one of those enemies that I mentioned before. But this is also a search spot, so it's worth taking a peek to see what it is. So that way that I can come back at a later time and take it down when I have a little bit more stats to do so. So let's go for it. So it is a blue dragon. Blue dragon's not the best thing to find on a spike tile, but we want to try to get away from him here. There we go. We managed to. So we're gonna get out of here. Stick to those lower encounter rates. Only to immediately run face first into an Axe Knight. That's beautiful. Thank you, game. Alright, so we'll lose half of our gold again. But we have knowledge of where Hawksness is and about the caliber that we need to be in order to take down the enemy that is there. So the blue dragon is going to be pretty resistant to the hurt spell. We're not going to be able to utilize that to kill him. So that's unfortunate, but not really much we can do about it. The only thing that we can do is just kind of continue on. We'll continue grinding as we go, and hopefully we hit our next level. Want to continue moving, and that's the important part. The mid game is just a solid brick wall in this seed, and one thing that's really hard about doing tutorials for this particular randomizer is that each seed is so very drastically different. But I can give you some basic knowledge and some basic ideas of what you're looking at, and that's kind of what the goal here is today. Town over there too. I'll keep that in mind. Let's see, by process of elimination, that's either Garenham or Cantillon, so I actually want to go there. So as you can see, we're taking up little chip enemies here that we can take down relatively quickly and with minimal damage. That's pretty important step to remember. Pretty important thing to note. You want to try to stick to what you can handle. Try not to step too far out of your bounds, because just like any other RPG, if you're not strong enough, the game has no problem letting you know that. So it looks like that's going to be on the second continent over there. So unfortunately, we will not be able to get to that until we go and purchase more keys, which we can do right now if we want. But I'm going to continue exploring here. We'll have enough gold to where I can purchase a key in Tantagel to replace the one that I have, and we can attempt one more time to get to that town. So it is indeed a one continent seed. It is just blocked off, requiring that we have the... Oh yeah, we're in business now. Okay, so it is a one continent seed that is going to require the swamp cave to roam. We just got a huge HP boost, which increases our survivability quite a bit. We also learned the spell of Hurt More. Now, Hurt More isn't something that we've really talked too much about, but Hurt More will knock off pretty much any enemy that you run into. It can be a one-shot on most enemies. It'll deal, I believe it's 58 to 65 damage. So now we can utilize that to start taking advantage of our rather large MP pool and start taking down enemies pretty reliably and really skyrocket our experience towards that 975 experience that we need for the next level. Definitely wouldn't utilize it on something like that. This guy will use it against, even though he has a 3 out of 16 chance of resisting the Hurt More spell. So we ended up having to cast it twice. So we burnt 10 MP, but we got 72 experience out of that. That's really, really good. So we'll run from this one just to conserve our MP a little bit. Right here is town. That's cool. This is the town of Garenham. So by process of elimination, we know that the town on the second continent is guaranteed to be Cantalin. We'll go ahead and we'll check into this shop. We'll see what's here. I would love to see a large shield somewhere, but unfortunately it's not quite in our future. But we pick up a hand axe, which will give us 15 attack power, so that's always a nice thing. I just screwed that up. There we go. Alright, so we got plus 15 attack power, so we got a little more attack power now. Still not quite enough to take down that green dragon, or that blue dragon, so we're gonna need to come back there again later. Hurt more is not going to be an effective way of dealing with the blue dragon, though. The blue dragon has a 9 out of 16 resistance to the hurt spell. So you have a 9 out of 16 chance that that spell just will flat out not work. So we'll go ahead and we'll take the wings here. The wings work like the return spell. They'll take us home. So we don't need to worry about that. Let's see what cave we have here. Okay, so this is going to be the mountain cave. So we're going to go ahead and bring that up here. Okay, so this is the first floor basement. So the first floor basement, we want to head up here, right here, and then left after we head up. The nice thing about the floors of the swamp cave, the first floor will always have the same enemies as it did in the swamp cave. So those two are interlinked. And the second floor will be the same as the top floor of the grave. And warlocks were pretty dang common around there, and we can take them down pretty darn quickly now. Okay, so blue dragon, we're gonna try to run. Fortunately not. One more time. Come on, game. Alright, and we are definitely burning an herb here, because there could be the sword here. This is a place that takes a long time to get back to, so we just really don't want to be burning ourselves here. So, alright, so now we're into the second floor, which is the bulk of the cave in terms of treasures. There are 4 treasures here. So we're going to head down to this corner right here and take this one. This is the death necklace. We chatted a little bit about that in the beginning. We'll discard the fighter's ring to pick up the death necklace. The knight is a perfect enemy to utilize the hurt more spell on, so we're going to do that. Very low resistance, and it's a guaranteed 1 shot. 1 power, 1 speed, 1 hit point, and 2 magic. So not a very good level there. That's a little unfortunate, but we'll continue on. So we're gonna want to hold on to our gold if we can here. Have another curse belt, so we have a couple of search spots that are available here. So that's the second curse belt that we found. The curse belt will take the spot of the item that is on a search spot, and it'll put it in a chest, and that chest would have contained that item. So, anyways, just continuing along here. A middle slime. And take. All right, and we found the fairy flute. So now we know that one of our search spots could very well contain the sword. So that makes Hawksness a little bit more viable. Unfortunately, I don't think that putting that to chance is a good idea. So, gonna go ahead and continue out of the cave here. Our radiant spell about to wear out. Head up, head left, head down, head left. Alright, so the last thing that we can do is we can find the grave. Obviously, we can find the grave. And that would have a ton of treasure chests in it, which would be good. But the downside to it is that if we don't find the sword there, that's a complete waste of time. Sword is the last usable thing that we have, so unfortunately that's not a priority right now. Alright, so we made it out of the mountain cave here. We picked up wings, so we'll utilize those to get back to Tantagel. Then we'll go to Muldar and we'll pick up some keys. Unfortunately, we're going to lose a little time to that. But yeah, it should be a good time. We'll go ahead and just utilize these real quick. Alright, so we have a choice to make. We can either go through the swamp and attempt to get back down to that town, or we can explore west of Hawksness and hope that our final cave and Cantlin are that way. So I'm gonna bank on Cantlin being on the second catnet. Oh, you bug. Don't do that, by the way. So our attack power is really, really low. I'm pretty disappointed in the strength so far. Only 47 strength at level 9. We got a long ways to go before we're going to be able to do anything. So, going to want to continue working on that, continue grinding, utilizing that Hurt More spell as much as possible. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to recheck this weapon shop here. So I think I saw a large shield here, but I'm not 100% positive. Large shield's going to be the best shield we're going to be able to purchase for the seed. Unfortunately not. Did have a flame sword, but I'm not interested in that. So we're just going to go over this direction. There we are. Alright, so we are going to check out the grind tile for the swamp cave. So once again, for those of you that may not remember, we're gonna go back over to our swamp cave deal here. It's this tile right here that we're headed for. So even if we died to the enemy that's down here, we will be able to walk through that door without having to unlock it again. So now is a good time to check this spot. And we could also save the princess if the spike tile is favorable. It is a golem. So the golem, not going to be the best grind for us because we gave up the fairy flute and I'm not going back for it. So hopefully the sword is not on the coordinate spot. This is unfortunate. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's go. Walk out. Immediately Dragon Lord 2. Alright, So it should be around here somewhere anyways. There's our Magi Wyvern. Now let's show you how easy this guy is. He is the best experience that you can get for one Hurtmore. Guaranteed. He will guaranteed be a one-shot with Hurtmore. So gives 83 experience, which is really, really good. So we're gonna go ahead and double check our shops here. Looking for a large shield. We'll take that small shield just in case. I'm gonna check all 3 shops though, because I really want a large shield. The back attacks in the seed have not been friendly. Ouch. No large shield, huh? That's unfortunate. Alright, so here is the big reason why Erdrick's armor is so helpful. These little tiles right here would be dealing 15 damage apiece if I did not have that. So, anyways, I forgot to pull up the town map here. I apologize for that. This is the town of Cantillon. So Cantillon is going to have 2 item shops, one here and one here. This item shop here sells a dragon scale and wings. Wings are 70 gold a piece. And then up here, this shop right here sells herbs. So that's very important to note. And this gentleman right here is the guy that gives us our coordinates. So we know that we have coordinates in this seed. So let's swap over to him and let's find out what they are. 3 leagues south, 32 west. 3 south and 32 west. All right, so we can now go this way. At least I think that was 32 west. I'm gonna double check while I'm here because this is a long walk. 3 south, 32 west. Okay. Okay, so not too bad. We should be able to count that pretty dang easily. Go ahead and pick up a set of wings, max out our herb count here. We will not be getting a large shield, so our defense is going to be pretty abysmal for the end of the game. That's pretty unfortunate. No, I don't want anything else. I want to max out my herb counts. 1, 2, and 3. If that's all I can. Really? Burn through that many herbs, huh? Okay. Alright, anyways, so we're gonna continue on. This right here is Sherlock Castle, but we're gonna look around it. See what we can find. If we find the other cave, we'll go ahead and delve the grave. Because it's a tutorial. Might as well delve it if we find it. I imagine the grave is going to be west of Hawksness, though. Yeah, so this is all that there is to it. So, alright, we're going to go ahead and utilize our item. We're going to utilize the wings here to go back to Tantagel. And we're already 1 step south of the castle. There's 2, there's 3. Now we just gotta stay on this line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We should be right here. Erdrick's sword is found. All right, cool. So easy coordinates. That was really nice count, really easy. Sometimes you're not going to get that lucky though. But now, look at that. We now have 89 attack power. So you'll notice that I sold the fighter's ring, but 47 plus 40 attack power does not equal 89. So I still have the defense boost from the dragon scale and the attack boost from the fighter's ring, even though I no longer have them in my inventory. It is a permanent increase. So the next thing to do is to find a grind spot. We have found everything that we need to find. We know where the rainbow drop is, so we've taken care of that. And the last thing that we have to do is to get the levels to take on the Dragon Lord. So our best bet here is probably going to be to try to take on some enemies that are down around here. I did see some Axe Knights and Magi Wyverns. So this is going to be a pretty decent zone to fight in and pick up some easy experience. So we want to get to level 10. We're about there. It's 1500 and change here. It's 1500 exact, actually. Excuse me. So we're gonna need to start seeing some strength here. There's that, and then we'll need to get to 2175. There's 15 attack power, so I'll take that. And a new spell. Heal. Okay. Well, we need the heal more spell. The farthest that the game is going to make us go without the heal more spell is a level 16. So I don't think this guy can physically kill me and sleep block me, so I'm not too terribly worried about it. You can take a lot of my HP away though. Holy crap, come on game. That was the maximum amount of turns that you can be asleep. So a little unfortunate on the luck there. Head this way so that way that we can get back to Garenham, and we'll pick up some rest at the inn. We'll see if we can find the grave. Might as well go over that while we're grinding here. So we're still maxed out on herbs. Don't need to worry about that. The key here is going to be to hold on to as much of the gold that we are getting as humanly possible, and to maximize the amount of gold that we are getting for experience points. If we can do that, we may be able to purchase the silver shield that we saw over in Breckenary on our way to pick up the rainbow drop. So that would be huge for us. It'd be helpful. We've died a lot, so I'm not really banking on it, but if we are able to get to that 14,800 benchmark, why not do it? So we don't want to be too picky with our fights when it comes to picking what fights we're actually going to fight. Because if we do that, we'll just be blinked out here. And we're going to lose a lot of time to grinding overall. We still want to avoid blue dragons. We don't quite have the stats to deal with them still. It's a little unfortunate. I will start taking on gold men just to maximize our gold count. All right, so this is the grave. We have two caves left, one of them being Erdrick's cave, and the other one being the grave of Garenham. All right, so let's see. All right, so right here is our starting point, and we're gonna just go right up here to these chests here. This is what we want. So that's where we're headed. Grave of Garenham is really, really big too, so it's a little difficult to show all of it on screen. Hopefully we get to that 2175 benchmark and learn the outside spell with enough magic to cast it. That'd be really helpful. Discounted there. I'll take wings. I don't want wings. I want gold. Hey. Alright, so one thing that we could do is we could just go in and out of this cave like 70 times and get the gold that we need to get the silver shield. So that's one thing that we could do. We're not going to, but it is there. All right, so about 60 more experience points and we will have our stuff here. See if we can get the excellent move. This metal slime, worth the most experience in the game, 255, has maximum defense. So you pretty much coin flip to hit him no matter what. 3, 5, 13, 8, and spell of return. Okay, we'll work with it. Werewolf attacking us from the back. Fortunately, we don't know the stop spells, so these guys are actually still pretty dangerous. The only reason that I'm taking them is that we really need the experience, so continue along here. We're gonna run from this one. That's a lot of werewolves. That's a lot of werewolves. Alright, so now we want to head up and left. Oops. Because we're into the next floor here, which I can show all of it. Okay, so right here is the staircase that we came out of. This A here. We're gonna head to E. E is the one that we want to head to. Stairs. Go along this way. So right now we're on the next floor, which the next floor we pop up right here at E. And so we're gonna follow this down and we're gonna come and we're gonna pick up this chest right here. Now this this dive into the grave is not required at all. I could go through here without needing to do this at all. I could beat the game without having to do it. For the sake of completeness, I think that it's a good idea that we do so. We'll re-up Radiant as well, which cuts our hurt more count down, but at least you guys will be able to see what we're doing. So on this floor up here, I just walk straight down to B there. And then we'll continue on to right here, and we're gonna come up and we're gonna go to this little C here. Unfortunately, the stuff on the bottom floor is not worth as much experience in gold, so still gaining experience, just not a lot of it. Probably a good thing, because my MP is pretty abysmal. This is pretty self-explanatory. You just walk up here and grab this. It's a magic key. Okay. So this spot right here is the treasure chest. And then we unfortunately have to walk back out because our last level up did not grant us the outside spell like I was hoping. So we have to walk out. So the last floor of this is just a diamond shape, 2 staircases, pretty self-explanatory, pretty easy to follow. So going back out is just going to be the complete opposite of what we did before. So we're going to go back up to here. We're right here. We're going to make our way back to B, which is right there. So down and to the left we go. All the other staircases are dead ends. We do not need to worry about them. There's nothing here that they could have. So we're just going to go up and to the right and up here. And then we are back to the main floor. Now the main floor can be a little tricky if you're navigating this in the dark, because this can be navigated in the dark just like any other cave. We just can't quite do it very easily. Okay, so we're going to come up and around, and then we're going to go through here and we'll come back to the staircase over there. Pretty simple to do in the light, but very easy to get lost, so do be careful if you decide to navigate in the dark. Another hurt more spell. These guys are really good golden experience, so I'm happy to take them down. Well on our way to that 14,000 benchmark. Got about 10 grand to go here. Uh-oh. Bum-ba-da-bum. Alright, so I want to retain some of my magic, so I'm not going to fight the werewolf. Especially when knights are worth so much. They are a guaranteed one-shot. Re-up Radiant here. See if we can get another metal slime. No, unfortunately not. Alright. Well, we got one. Alright, so now we're back out on the overworld map. We want to head straight back for Garenham, so that way that we can refill our MP. MP, pretty important stat here. This is going to be the stat that's going to make or break us. Our strength is really starting to come along. About 60 strength right now. Want to have about 80 to 90. But yeah, that agility stat. Our stats actually aren't very good right now. So now is kind of a good time to talk about the Dragon Lord, which Captain Uhu has done a phenomenal job with this tracker. And if I click on the Dragon Lord right here, it gives us a rundown of the stats that we are looking for. So first and foremost, strength. We want 80 to 90 strength. That gives us 120 to 130 attack power. So we want to try to get as high as we can, but we're at 107 right now, so we still got a little ways to go. Got about 23 before we reach that benchmark that we want. Agility 40 to 76, just to be able to survive in Charlotte Castle. Defense power of 60 is going to be absolutely abysmal. Our defense power is just going to be a problem throughout this entire run until we are able to purchase the silver shield, which we are going to attempt to do. Attack power, obviously we talked about 110 to 130, so 110 attack power is not enough to take on the Dragon Lord, so that's unfortunate. MP, one of the things we haven't talked about is heal more. I haven't gotten it yet, but we're gonna chat about it a little bit here. It costs 8 MP to cast heal more. So heal more 8 MP, and it's roughly around 80 to 100 HP that it will restore. It is a mandatory requirement to defeat the game. You have to have heal more in order to win. So it's unfortunate that we don't have it yet. But even if we didn't, we wouldn't have the MP. MP, that 56 to 96. The 96 is going to give us 12 heal mores, which is right about where you want to be in order to take on the Dragon Lord at that 120 to 130 attack power range. So the Dragon Lord has 100 defense. So in order to find out how many attacks we need in order to kill him, we slash 100 off of our attack power right away. So that leaves us with 7 attack power right now. So with it being 7 attack power, we divide that in half, and it's always rounded to the lower whole number. So right now we would be doing 3 damage at most to the final boss, and we would be doing a minimum of 1 damage to the final boss. So we are able to damage the final boss, we just would not be able to kill him at all. So unfortunately, that is my wife calling, so give me just a second and I'll be right back here, guys. Alright guys, sorry about that. We are back here. We have made it to level 14 just by grinding our way through. Attack power of 119, still not good enough. That MP really starting to come along though. Our HP is high enough to where we could get away with utilizing the death necklace. The problem is that we are still going to be hit too hard by the Dragon Lord's physical attacks to survive 2 maximum physical attacks from the Dragon Lord if we equip the death necklace. So unfortunately that's not an option for us right now to bump our attack power up to that threshold that we need. So we are going to continue grinding here. We have learned the heal more spell, so I'm going to make the trip back over to what was it, Garenham, so that way that I can attempt to kill the blue dragon that is in Hawksness. And once I kill the blue dragon that is in Hawksness over and over again, hopefully we will have enough money for the silver shield so we can start defense breaking some of the enemies that are within Sharlock Castle. So defense breaking is not something that I've really talked about yet, but it's something that's very important in the late game. So what defense breaking is that it's when your attack power meets or exceeds the attack power of an enemy. So when your defense power is higher than an enemy's attack power, they are what is called defense broken, and they can only do a certain number of damage, and they can even flat out miss you. That knight there, for instance, I believe that his range would be 0 to, I believe it's like 10 or 11, something like that, maybe 13. But it's right around there. There's that range there, whereas with us not defense breaking him right now, he can do damage up into the lower 20s. So as you can notice, we have taken down quite a few metal slimes. We've taken down a couple of them now throughout the seed. They are worth 255 experience, which is the most that any enemy is going to give us. So definitely keep an eye out for those. Try to take them down if you can. The way that metal slimes work is that if your strength is over 20, they have the ability to run away from you, unless you have a specific flag that's called scared metal slimes, in which case they can run away from you anytime, which kind of balances out the somebody getting lucky early and getting a metal slime right off at the get-go, which would be very detrimental to a race. It would be very, very painful to a race to do that. The really interesting thing is that this seed has gone so immaculately well. This has been a really good tutorial seed. The only thing that I don't think that I've shown off is the tablet cave, and we'll try to find that over by the rainbow drop cave once we are finished up here, because there's nothing to the west of Hawksness here. So we'll continue killing enemies. We'll get enough gold for the silver shield for sure. We're still lacking in too many stats to attempt a Sharlock dive with just the small shield. So that is not going to be a reality for us. We are going to have to grind out for that silver shield to make the Sharlock grind a bit easier here. The red dragon, the hardest random enemy in the game. He has huge stats, so we're going to be looking at stats in the realm of 120 attack power, I believe it is. He has up to 107 HP, and he just hits like a fucking truck. So pardon the language, but he just does. As you can see, he's dealing 33 damage to us, even though we have defense in the mid 70s. So he's going to be able to deal quite a bit of damage to us. It's unfortunate, but we're just going to have to deal with it. So the way that I like to deal with these guys is I just like to try to power through them. We got a lucky critical hit there for 85 damage, which is going to make this fight a lot easier. But eventually it would boil down to being a fight of attrition, just killing it before it kills me. So luckily we didn't have to go that route with it. And this blue dragon counterpart hopefully will be easier. We've only seen nothing but physical attacks from him. His damage range is a little bit lower, 16 to 32 at our current defense. So he's just going to be dealing a lot less damage. We should be able to take him down relatively quickly. The unfortunate thing about the dragons is that the dragons are going to be giving more experience than gold. So we will be missing out on some of that precious gold that these other enemies have been so lucrative with. So we may need to go down and grind out some gold min once I feel that we have a comparable level to take on the Dragon Lord there. Ooh, the dodge. So luckily he is not dealing super high damage. He's been pretty friendly so far, rolling those lower numbers. We'll go for it. All right. So our next benchmark is at 7,500 experience. So right now we're grinding, so this is probably the best thing to have up. So we're looking for 7,500 experience for our next level. Our next level probably not going to be enough. We'll probably need to go 1 or 2 more. But it is a pretty quick and easy seed here. We should be easily able to get to the next level, and then beyond. We'll be pretty close to the next level, I'd imagine, actually, because I got about what is that, 7 heal mores. So with 7 heal mores, we might just be able to get 1,000 experience out of this. 4 more speed is good. 9 more magic puts us in the realm of possibility, actually. I believe that puts us right at our benchmark. Oh, no, we're 1 short. We're 1 MP short for that benchmark of 12 heal mores. So, want to continue swinging away at him, and hopefully we kill him relatively quickly. Had a big damage roll there. That 35 was pretty big. 36 is huge as well. So we'll just continue chipping away here. We'll cast heal a couple of times, because 2 heals is going to be a little less than what's needed to get us max, but it'll give us enough to where we should be able to take him down and then just immediately cast a heal more afterwards. Yeah, we'll just cast a heal more here. Oh no, 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 no. I failed at life. So that's an unfortunate miss menu there. We probably won't get next level now off of that, but it is what it is. We'll kill them all the same anyways. 37. Man, lots of dodges today too. Wow. That's been pretty brutal. He rolled some big numbers there. So this is just the kind of the unfortunate reality that we all kind of deal with when it comes to this randomizer. There just hits a certain point where you just have to grind. There's nothing that you can really do about it. Gonna get about halfway to the next level before we need to return to Garenham. So we should be fine there. This one we might be able to take down if we're lucky without a heal more. 21. Yeah. Alright. Let's go for a couple of heals here. Heal. Heal. And one more heal. We'll get up to max. We'll take this guy down. And we'll brutalize him. Alright. 29. So this is what the end of the game looks like, guys. Grinding for stats. It's just the unfortunate reality of it. I don't want to tempt fate, so we're gonna leave. Because I want to keep a hold on that gold. I want that gold. Absolutely. So, 23. Yeah, that guy has a ton of defense. It's ridiculous. Take any enemies that we can get along the way here. Wyvern, not a bad enemy. There we go. 105 gold. About 3,000 away from our silver shield. So right now a silver shield would give us plus 16 defense, which would give us 91 defense. So that would be pretty huge for us. It's going to be dependent upon these next couple of levels, what will actually defense break in Sherlock Castle. There's a good chance that there will be quite a bit of it that will defense break. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I should have taken that guy. He's worth 150 gold. Oh well, I'll take this guy. He's worth quite a bit of gold as well. Oh wow, that wasn't enough. That's unfortunate. Yeah, 155. I'll take it. Kill you. 20 and 25. Oh man, you gotta love some of these randomized enemy zones. Run into something like a druid, and then the next step you run into a red dragon. It's gonna be great. Oh, game made a liar out of me. Red dragon would have been something that I would not have wanted to see there, actually. So, kind of happy we didn't. So, level 16. We'll see where our strength is at after this. Because our HP is there. So it's going to be strength and HP. We just need one more MP to make it decent for Sherlock. So we're close. We're close. We're going to get him. Oh, man. Do I take the risk? No. Play safe. Play safe. Play it safe. Kill him. Hey. And This has been the worst blue dragon fight ever. Okay. So let's see, we get 150 gold for each one. So that means that we need about 20 blue dragons in order to reach our needed gold from where we were previously. Oh, that 19. Ew. 36. Means that our min is 18. So minimum followed by a max. I'll take it. Heal up a couple of times here. Go for it. Nice. One more for our next level, by the way. And level 16 is the level where the randomizer requires giving you all of your spells. So, want to give all of our spells here. Alright, here we go. 3 power, 11 more hit points, and 14 magic. I think we're there. Yeah, we're there. Alright, so the next thing that we need to do is we need to go find Goldman down by the grave. Hi, Red Dragon. Ow. Well, at least he didn't max roll us, so I can actually attack him. Four more hits, right like that would be perfect, game. I would love that. I would enjoy that very thoroughly. 47 and 35 is 82. I could swing for the win here, but I'd be a little under if I rolled him in, so not a good idea. We got 255 experience. Here we go away. One thing that I did forget to talk about is different terrain types. So different terrain types have different encounter rates. The mountains, the hills, and the desert tiles have the highest encounter rate. I believe it's 1 in 8, actually. Not 100% on that. Forest tiles, swamp tiles, and the brick tiles in Hawksness and in dungeons have a 1 in 16. And then you have the plains tiles, which are 1 in 32. And I believe that the plains tiles around Tantagel Castle are actually are 1 in 64, I think, actually. So, picked up a couple more heal mores as well there. We picked up 2 extra casts of heal more over the previous level. That's why I said that we are ready here. One thing that I did not talk about is this Armored Knight here. The Armored Knight has very, very high agility, very difficult to run away from. So double hurt-moring him is going to be the way to go when encountering him on the overworld here. So right now what I'm doing is I'm trying to get into fights with Goldman. Unfortunately not having very much luck so far. I know that I saw some Goldman over by the grave, so that's where we are currently headed. We're going to finish off grinding for our gold that way. 1 cast of Hurtmore should be more than enough to suffice to take out a Goldman. So it's right in here somewhere. Magi Wyvern. Still decent gold, I guess. Better experience, but not super good on the gold. I'm okay with that though. This guy's not too bad. Of a gold man. Great. This has got to be 2 different zones. We gotta pretty much just do this for a little bit. Magi Wyvern again. It's nice to have enemies that I can take out so quickly. We'll try for the Heartmore. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, so we're gonna have to take him down the old-fashioned way. 123 attack power is pretty good, so we'll be all right. Take him down. There we go. Another 150 gold. I'll just swing through you, I think. Oh, you bugger. So the way that the game handles attacks is it rolls to see if you roll a critical hit first, and then it rolls to see if you actually hit the enemy. And we are pretty rapidly actually coming up on level 17 here as well. Might utilize that for some extra agility and attack power here. A little over 1,000 away, or under 1,000 now. Yeah, we're under 1,000 because it's 12,000 experience. There's our gold man. 2 more fights. Come on, gold man. Magi Wyvern. There we go. Alright, so now we are going to utilize the return spell. We are going to go pick ourselves up a silver shield and stay at the inn in Breckenary. Cast the repel spell after we pick up the silver shield here. That'll be huge for us. The defense breaking quite a bit, actually. Oh, it wasn't here. It must be in Rimuldar then. So we'll stay at the inn in Rimuldar. Yeah, it was in Rimuldar now that I'm thinking about it, actually. We need to look for the tablet cave while we're over here as well. So we still have not gone over that yet either. So this is the jerk. We have all of the required items. So the sun and the rain shall meet, and the rainbow drop shall pass to thy keeping. So we have the rainbow drop. One thing to bear in mind is that it did remove 2 of those key items, so we now have room for extra items. That'll become very relevant on our way back through Breckenary here. To show you guys something that I did not actually know before. So, alright, so we know that this cave is going to hold nothing for us, but we will check it out. We will search it. This is the tablet cave, otherwise known as Erdrick's cave, I believe. So anyways, let's see. All right, so this is the first floor. It shows the path on screen, which is nice. Unfortunately, it is empty, so that was probably going to be a thingamaboob, an herb, or a magic key. So this is the other floor. I'm sorry, I forgot to show that. It's pretty easy. It's just right up, come down around through here, come up over here, and make your way to the chest, then cast outside. The only tricky part about Erdrick's Cave that is important to remember is that if you decide to do this in the dark, if you decide to do Erdrick's Cave in the dark, and you get lost, and you do not have outside, your game is over. You have to go back to the last point that you saved with the king. There is no way around it. There is not a monster there to kill you, to save you. There is no way out of the cave except for to enter it and exit through the same way you came. So it's unfortunate. It's the way it is, but just something to definitely keep in mind there. Alright, this is getting ridiculous. Alright, so we're going to up repel here. Now, repel works this way. So we talked a little bit about defense breaking and how it affects enemies. The other way that it affects enemies is that if our defense power is higher than their attack power, while repel is up, we will not encounter those enemies at all. The trade-off is that you'll run into much more powerful enemies, so it can be a useful tactic when attempting to grind on the overworld. There is also a flag to allow repel to work in dungeons as well, to maximize the amount of things that you're getting, or the experience that you're getting. So it did require a little bit of grinding at the end, but we do have enough for the silver shield. We just got to get to a town that has it, which I thought Ramaldar did. Okay, let's head this way. Going back to Cole now, or what town is that? It's that one town. Garenham. That's what it is. Dear Lord, why am I struggling to remember Garenham all of a sudden? Like, it's my most favorite town. So much that you can do with Garenham. Because so Garenham has the cave in the back of it, as you saw there, when we went down and we delved into the mountain cave earlier in the seed. And the thing about it is that the swamp cave from Tantagel Castle can lead to Garenham, and if it does, it allows you to gold grind without there being a gold chest in Tantagel. So that is just absolutely beautiful. It can be a very, very game-changing grind if it happens early. So just something to keep in mind there, that if a cave leads into Garenham, if the swamp cave leads to Garenham and it comes from Tantagel, you can definitely grind that out. So, alright, now let's take a look at our final in-game stats. These will be the stats that we are taking on the final boss with. Actually, no, it won't be, because we'll probably take on a couple of enemies to finish off our next level. But 91 defense is pretty dang good. You know, we're defense breaking up to a green dragon. So there's 4 enemies in Charlotte Castle that we will be able to properly repel. So we just went with the default flags. The default flags do not allow repel to work inside of dungeons, so we're going to have to do Sharlock Castle the vanilla way, which is going to be running away and fighting the fights that you have to take. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take care of this. Now, Sharlock Castle requires the rainbow drop, as we discussed earlier. So you come to this tile right here, use the rainbow drop, and with that, the bridge forms for you to enter into the final dungeon. Okay, so there's a lot of math that goes into Sharlock Castle. Sharlock Castle is by far the most technical area in the game. It is the great equalizer, if you will. So, some things to remember here. We have ourselves the first floor, okay? These two staircases right here lead to dead ends. Do not open these doors, they just lead to loops. So the route that we're going to be taking to get through this first area is we're going to be coming up and around like this, and then we'll come down through here. We'll go right here to this staircase here. Now the staircase will not be visible to us until we search the spot that it's on. I'm going to take on the enemies that I am defense breaking because they'll be doing much less damage to me, and I will be able to rack up some experience that way. These guys right here will be giving me 105. I require 12,000 experience for the next level, and hopefully that will bump us up to where we are increasing our chances of defense breaking something else as well. The first form of the Dragon Lord would be defense broken if we were able to get to 96 defense. So we're not quite there. If we got a big agility boost, we would be able to defense break him though. So we have one cast of radiant that we can burn. After that, I will be switching to torches in order to maximize the amount of heal mores that I have, but I am going to show all of Sharlock Castle. So basement floor 2, here we go. As you can see, this map is huge. I don't understand why it's so huge. It's just huge. So let's try to blow this up a little bit and see if we can fit some more of this on the screen here. Is this how this works? No. Okay, so we're gonna go back down then. Back down. Up. There we go. That's the one that I had. All right, so the first route that we're gonna take is we're gonna ignore everything that's on the right side of the map, because the right side of the map is pretty irrelevant right now. So we're gonna come down around like this, and we're just gonna slide down here, and once we get down there, we're gonna come to staircase B here. That's where we're going. So we're gonna cast our radiant spell. We're gonna hope for good luck on the enemy zone here. Stoneman, not a great enemy to fight, but gives a lot of experience, so we're gonna take him. We're going to deal a lot of damage to him because he has fairly low agility, so he has fairly low defense. Probably the lowest defense actually of Sharlock. So the Axe Knight, a beautiful enemy, unfortunately will be hitting us just a little too hard for us to take him down efficiently. Hurtmore will one-shot him about 80% of the time, so something to bear in mind there. The Stoneman giving me the business here. I should not be struggling to run from him. Unfortunately, that's a couple of herbs burnt. So the reason why I still purchased herbs, even though I have a lot of heal mores, is for the Dragon Lord 1 fight. We can utilize that to kind of mitigate some of the things that he can do. So we'll talk about that a little bit more once we get there. But we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. We're almost to the end. Yeah, we can take this guy. Screw it. Hopefully he doesn't make us burn a heal more. She may do. See, the problem that I'm having right now is that I'm at that defense threshold where running away from a lot of the things in Sherlock just isn't very viable. So unfortunately, we're just not there yet. 7 more power, 8 more speed. Holy cow. Okay, so now this is huge. We now are at 90 agility. 90 agility is the big benchmark. Right now, every random enemy in the game, we have at least a 50-50 chance to run from now. Enemies in Sherlock Castle, we're at about a 67 to 70% chance to run away from most enemies in Sherlock Castle. The only exception to that right now is the Armored Knight and the Red Dragon. Those are going to still be a coin flip at this point. The more important thing to bear in mind, though, is that at 95 agility, we add Breaking Axe Knights and Blue Dragons to our list. So we are now defense breaking those as well. That's pretty huge for us. It's going to allow us to mitigate a lot of damage as we continue through here. There's a chest there, so we're gonna have to learn how to get there relatively quickly here. This is the floor that we are currently on. It's a little bit of a pain to navigate in the dark. So if you're a newer player, definitely stick to Radiant and Torches. I recommend making a safe state where you have a maximum level character, so that way that you can kind of fumble around in the dark. That's kind of how I learned Sherlock Castle. So continue running from enemies here. On to the next floor. Sorry. Oh my goodness, I gotta get on that. All right, right here. This is the staircase that we came out of when we went through those stairs on the last floor there. So we're working our way to this staircase here. And then we'll go right here for these stairs. And up next we have this floor here. So the way to progress to the boss is this staircase here. This staircase leads to an infinite loop, so ignore it. And this one here leads to what is called the Judge's Table. It leads to the vanilla Erdrick sword chest. So that's going to be right up this way. One thing that I forgot to mention is that Sherlock Castle is also built into different tiers. So different enemies will appear on different floors. It's 3 floor gaps. So you have the first floor, the second floor. Oops. You have the first floor, and the second floor has the same enemies on it. So the third, fourth, and fifth floors will have the same enemies on it. And then you have the final zone, which is basement 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so all of those are your different enemy zones, and they can contain the hardest enemies in the game. So right now we just came out of this staircase from basement floor 5. This was it right here where we went. This is where we're coming out at. And our Radiant is running out. Unfortunately, we just don't have the MP to continue casting Radiant. So we're just making our way to Staircase I, right here on this map. And then we will continue up a floor here. Let's get up to this floor here. This is pretty self-explanatory. You just walk up and left here. All right, and then we are back up to basement floor 2. So we're back into that original enemy domain, and we are on the right side now. So on the right side, we're gonna go to Staircase K. We came out right here. Oops. So blue dragons are broken now. So now they can't do a ton of damage to us. The most damage that they can do is 15, 16, something like that. So rolling pretty decently, but we one-shot him pretty easily. A little bit more efficient than trying to run from him. He's one of those enemies that just has a little bit of agility that makes it a little difficult to run away from. I don't like basing stuff on luck. So we'll take this chest here. We'll see what it is. It is a magic key. All right. So the final thing that we're going to do is we are going to make our way back. So we just came into staircase K. We picked up our Erdrick sword. Well, we picked up what would be Erdrick sword in the vanilla game. Okay, and we're just making our way back here. Okay, so right now we need a torch. There we go. And here we be. All right, now we get to go up. So where we're at right now is we're basement floor 5. We just came out of this staircase. We're gonna walk up here. We're gonna take a left-hand turn to get to that staircase E. You should be broken. Maybe not. Maybe he's 96. I might be wrong. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, we're not breaking him, but whatever. We're close enough to breaking him that fighting him is easier than running away. And the game makes an immediate liar out of me. Alright, we'll continue running away from werewolves. These are probably the best enemies to see in Sherlock. They lose a lot of their agility when calculating whether you can run from them or not. Alright, here we are, the final floor. And it looks like it's all enemies that are going to be relatively easy to run from, so... This is what you call commentator's curse. Alright, item, magic key. Alright, and this is the pyramid of chests here. So Erdrick's sword can be here at the end of the game if you have not found it, and you've checked everything that I've shown you. The game is telling you that it is going to be in Sherlock Castle in one of these spots. So it can be the vanilla judge's table. It can be a vanilla sword. It's not super common for that to happen, but it has happened. But it can also be in these pile of chests here on the bottom floor of Sherlock. A golem, nice enemy to see as well. Looks like we're not going to have any of those enemies that are difficult to run away from, so that's nice. We'll just keep walking. Basement 6 is just a U shape. Pretty easy to follow along with. You just walk straight to the right for the bottom floor, and then this is the final floor of Sherlock Castle. You can kind of see we're making our way up around this this clock face, if you will. This is called the dinner bell, this little tile right here, because that's 12 o'clock on a clock face, and we're going to make our way back down, and this right here will be a final trap tile, kind of a mini boss, if you will, before the final boss. So you want to make sure that you're ready for that. That trap tile can contain any of the enemies that I've mentioned before, so blue dragon, red dragon, axe knight, armored knight, golem, and stone man can all be on that tile there. We are hoping that we do not have a golem because I threw away the fairy flute. It is a red dragon. So, battle of attrition here. We're just gonna kill him before he kills us. We will heal up before the final boss, so we'll be fine on that front of things. Should be able to kill him this round here. Alright. So, this is the Dragon Lord fight. Now, I'm going to conserve my herbs. I'm going to burn a heal more. Because 12 heal mores is going to be more than enough for what we need. barring a missed menu, this fight is in the bag already. I am going to equip the Death Necklace. Now, the Death Necklace, as I stated at the beginning, is going to give us an extra 10 attack power at the cost of 25% of our HP. So 25% of our HP is going to put us roughly at around 100 health. So we know that we are going to be able to survive 2 attacks from the Dragon Lord no matter what, so we cannot be infinitely looped if we equip it. So let's go ahead and equip the Death Necklace here. And here we go. We now have our updated stats of 140 attack power, maximum HP of 106. So yes, this fight will be relatively easy here. We slash 100 off of our attack power. Our range is from 10 to 20 damage, giving us an average of 15. So at an average of 15, we will need approximately 10.5 attacks, so 11 attacks, in order to kill the final form of the Dragon Lord. So the Dragon Lord can have up to 165 health, I believe it is. So we want to be ready for anything. Let's go ahead and take him down, though. The first form of the Dragon Lord, you're going to be looking for stop spells. Now, as you can notice, I'm not pressing the A button to advance the text there. I'm pressing the B button. That's because if you accept his offer by accident, your game locks and it's game over. You have to go back to the last point you saved. So you want to make sure that you're careful for that. We're going to be looking for stop spell here because stop spell is a free turn. If he attacks us, he is not damage broken. So we're going to need to mitigate that with herbs, so that way that we can try to get an opening double on the second form here. So the first form, you always are going to start with an attack. So 35 damage is pretty good. Hurt more is the thing that you want to see the least. You just use an herb when you see it hurt more. It'll pretty much mitigate that damage entirely. He's sitting here and he's just spamming it over and over, though. We're getting pretty unlucky with that. Oh, he is defense broken. Okay, that's cool. All right, so 47 damage. 98, I feel pretty comfortable with that, so we're gonna attack. We're just gonna wipe the floor with him here. And into the second form we go. Okay, so we did not get back attacked, so we get an opening double. No matter what he does, he cannot kill us in 2 attacks, so we're gonna start by a fight. 12 damage, a little bit below average, but that's okay. We got a physical attack, so his physical attack is gonna have a range of, I think his maximum is 46, so it's gonna be 23 to 46 right now. So we're right around where we want to be. So we're gonna attack and continue on. So that's 24 damage. Now you notice that his fire breath does significantly more damage. So the idea is to be able to survive 2 of those breath attacks if you are attempting for a double. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to get another double, but barring a missed menu, this will be a pretty significant sweep. We're not really in any danger here. We should be able to take him out quite easily. So most people will keep track of how much damage they have done. And it's a good idea to do so that way that you don't end up burning extra time to heal when it wasn't necessary to heal. I'm not going to do that because I just know that as long as I heal enough, I'm going to take him down eventually anyways. The flip side to this is that there is such thing as a miss menu. You can accidentally trigger a hurt more, which he has 15/16 resistance to. So it is possible to hit him with a hurt more spell, not very likely though. So definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention, so that way that you can heal yourself appropriately throughout the fight, so that way that you can take down the Dragon Lord here, as we are going to do here in the next couple of swings. There we go. All right, and we now have the Ball of Light. So the Ball of Light does a couple of things. It allows you to walk on the world map without taking damage from any tiles. It allows you to walk back to Tantagel Castle without any encounters. But if you have the return spell, which in most seeds you will want to just immediately return to go back to Tantagel Castle here. Now, Tantagel Castle is indeed the final spot in the game. Since we did not rescue Princess Gwaelin, there's some extra stuff that we need to do. We could go rescue Gwaelin, take on that trap tile, kill that enemy, and return with her to the king. That will indeed answer some extra dialogue here. So it is the timing for the game is it comes to an end right here, and it begins right as you select the fast text speed option. So technically that would be the finishing point for your race if you decide to race with us. I have had a blast making this tutorial for you. There is so much information that I'm sure that I missed a couple of things. A couple of things that are noteworthy here at the end. We're just gonna go ahead and we're going to hide this one, so that way that I can bring this one out, and I'm just going to show you guys the link here. Hopefully, yeah, there we go. So this link here is available on the Randomizer Discord. So this is the tracker that I used for this game, for this tutorial. It was a huge help. So thank you, Captain Uhu, once again for developing this tracker. He does quite a bit of tracking work for us. He did the tracker that we utilize for Randomania as well for our weekly races. So big shout out to Captain Uhu. Thank you so much for your work. Your trackers are always excellent. Thank you so much. Other support, other things of that nature. Tilo, Fear on Burgundy have posted some very, very helpful things in the Discord throughout my time in our training room, and that can be found at the DW Discord !command. So if you would like to type that in, you can definitely join our Discord. There is tons of helpful people that are just willing to help you out. There's also a link to the Dragon Warrior Randomizer tutorial for newer players. Now, the Randomizer tutorial that's in the Google document suspects that you have already played and beaten the vanilla game several times. So I wanted to do more of an introductory tutorial to somebody who has never played the game before, just kind of go over some of the basic mechanics, the basic idea of how the game works. I hope that somebody will find some use for this, but I will get on highlighting this as soon as I get off here. Let me see if I can find a raid target real quick and just get some raid going, and then it is dinner time for me. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Niminova, I'm sorry, I always mispronounce your name, man. Thank you so much for coming by, man. I hope that you can check out the tutorial with a little bit of sound quality there, and you're able to watch and enjoy it as much as I have. Let's see, who should we raid?
go ahead and raid, man, I don't know who to raid. Let's go ahead and raid High Spirits. I think that's going to be a very valid raid target. High Spirits is a admin for the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Discord. So hopefully by watching him, you can get some exposure to some of the other randomizers that are available for this series. So thank you very much for watching once again, and I hope that you guys enjoy and have a wonderful day, okay? Let's raid High Spirits. So there we go. We will raid High Spirits. We'll get in here. We'll get some action going, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks so much for stopping by.